Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am PANCZASU. Welcome back to Endless Space and my Pillagers playthrough. And I'm really tired right now. This is the third and this time definitely the last video I'm afraid that you're going to see while I'm away. But I feel like I have to make at least one more video for you guys. Even though it is late, I might just barely be able to finish uploading it before I have to leave for my plane. Fortunately, my departure is quite late afternoon, so I should be able to do all this. Anyway, don't worry, I'll not be so, I don't know what's the word for that. I'll not be so down all this videocast. I will actually cheer up. In fact, I'm doing this right now, I would say, just because I love you so much that even the thought about entertaining you is enough to entertain me as well. So, first things first, let's have a look at our empire and our economy. We're losing way less dust than we were before. That's because 3 of our systems are converting industry to dust. And soon enough, once Merope actually gets a little bit better approval, things will go way better for us, and maybe I'll actually be able to lower the tax rate even further, which would be preferable, obviously. Now the other thing is, our research is finally coming to a conclusion, and we will finally be able to get the planetary institutes, which are by far one of my favorite. Wait a second, I've got them already? I didn't even realize. Holy Toledo. Okay, in this case, if everything else, I want planetary institutes because they're just so amazing. I mean, not the best on systems that are amazing by themselves. For example, on Auriga, this thing is just like, I mean, it's going to be barely anything compared to the other things that I'm gaining from the system. Although, I'm barely gaining any dust from the system, so I guess the extra 4 dust is something, isn't it? But on systems that are slightly worse, like for example Pain, planetary institutes are really good. And the other thing about planetary institutes, they cost barely any production. 45. This is incredible and very useful, especially when you try to colonize a system that doesn't have a lot of food and or production on it by default. For example, when you try to colonize something that has only asteroids or whatnot, but really imported strategic or luxury resources. So you need to get a system and you need to grow it quickly, but you cannot really do that. So planetary institutes help you do that because they cost barely anything. It's very easy to get them out. You can also rush them quite easily as well, and they give you a flat bonus to everything regardless of what your system you are on, which makes this one of my favorite improvements of all times, without a doubt. Seriously, it's just so amazing. Problem is, now that I'm losing holy Toledo amounts of gold, I mean dust, so I will need to do something about this, but I'm about to have a battle, so this should help me out a lot. The enemy are never ever going to land, which is fine by me. Let's go for guillotine and make sure that all the damage is absorbed by my thick airships this time around. I'm going to open it up. I think I might actually open it up with illusion. I do have the dust to afford it, and I'll gain more dust from those battles anyway. Then again, I do need every bit of dust I can get. Whatever, illusion is cool to watch. That's my sole reasoning. So let's go into manual, because we have not seen a battle just yet this episode, which is perfectly normal for an episode that is only like, what, 3-4 minutes long, so it's really not that big of a deal now, is it? And we are going to have a battle, which is nice. I mean, especially when you compare to some of the early episodes, when you only have like 1 battle per episode, if you're lucky, like we were in this Pillagers playthrough since we got into a war on 10-1, on video number 1. Did we actually? I know we had battles on video number 1, but did they declare, or was... I think there was a war declared on video 1. I could be mistaken though, it's hard to say. I'll have to rewatch my old video, which I might do, but I usually tend not to rewatch my old series. I mean, this is a new series, don't get me wrong, but what I'm trying to say is that the first videos of this series that you're watching right now I recorded quite a long time ago, and there is no point to rewatch it since I'm more interested in just playing this game and reaching a conclusion on this series than doing anything else. So, my illusions did their job and they absorbed some damage, and looks like short circuit was a good idea since I was able to counter the enemy, and my bombers as well as my missiles and beams are going to do a pretty good job at destroying the enemy ships, I would imagine. Unfortunately, the enemy fighters are also doing a reasonably good job at destroying my bombers, which is way worse, but whatever. At least one of the fighter squadron for the Amoeba is not doing anything useful, it is just firing at my capital ships. Good luck! Fighters against big ships, they barely do anything, if anything at all. I mean, I think I've seen a fighter destroy a big ship once, but by big ship I mean like Corvette that was already heavily damaged, so yeah, no. Fighters are nice when destroying bombers. Other than that, however, not really. You don't want to be using them against, you know, big ships. Also, I have no idea why you would want to retrofit your fighters to not be battle-focused, battle-centric, because if you make your fighters invader-centric, then they are still quite bad, especially compared to bombers. Anyway, developing galactic leaders I just got, which means that my hero leveled up to level 20, but keep in mind, as of Disharmony, you can actually level up your hero to level 25. And something I really need is dust wielder. I thought that it is not all that important, but actually, considering the amount of dust I'm gaining and losing every turn, every bit of dust I can save up helps, so I'll definitely go for dust wielder too. That was a mistake on my part not to go for this sooner, but whatever. And actually, the enemy still has some ships left, and what? Did I really lose 5 ships? Wait, no I didn't. I didn't even have this many ships. I had 4 candles, I still have all of them. I had 4 fixed airs, I still have all of them. And 1 barbarian. Now apparently I have 2 barbarians and I lost another 2 barbarians and 3 candles. What the F? That's a bug if I have ever seen one, so yeah, obviously I didn't lose anything, but that was kinda hilarious. Slightly scary, but mostly hilarious. Anyway, let's have another battle. This one is definitely worth recording, so I'll just make sure that... Spreadfire or Guillotine, I'll just go for Guillotine for, you know, just to feel safe about this whole ordeal. And let's go into auto, there's nothing else for me to watch. And there we go, yada-da. That's all nice. Now, this fleet is about to intercept the Harmony fleet and we'll see how well it will fare against it. Problem is, I would love to retrofit it, reinforce it rather with some of the ships from this past fleet that was destroyed. However, the enemy is definitely going to attack me before I can do that. So, let's go over there. And yeah, I couldn't even start guarding the system, which is kind of sad. But whatever, the enemy declared battle on me. I think I need to start by going for Nosebreaker. I mean, I do need to take care of those Simics, and I noticed that the Harmony tend to make those guys be the primary target, which I can't blame them. They're quite nice tanks. I mean, they have a lot of defense modules for everything, so I'm gonna go for Nosebreaker. Defensive formation for me, those fixed airs need to do as much as they can. I have a Soki in here as well, which is nice and very important, although this Soki might die despite the level he's at. 3 candles, 2 barbarians, that's not a whole lot of firepower. I would love to have some more reinforcements, but this fleet will have to do, I'm afraid. What am I going to start with? Well, Shot Second worked well against the Amoeba. It might not be the case against the Harmony, however. I have a feeling that against them it might be better to go for Magnetic Field, but I could be wrong. Let's go into manual and see how well it goes. This battle, I mean. In the meantime, I'm going to drink a little bit of juice. I was about to say water, but then I changed my mind. I need to drink this juice before I leave, because obviously, as I mentioned in this channel update, which for you was published a long time ago, I'm going to be gone for a week, a little bit longer than a week in fact, so I don't want to leave open juice that has not been fully drunk out. So yeah. So give me a second and I'll drink it. And actually, weapon overclock indeed. That was unexpected. I'm not going to turn the HUD off. I need to see the numbers. So give me a second, I'll drink. It's really nice, this juice, except now it's not as cold as it was when I was recording the Cruise 2 videos, unfortunately. So that's a slight problem, but that's also something I can deal with. Alright, 1 Simic down, but the others are still alive. I countered the enemy, which is nice. Am I recording? Yes, I am, which is also quite nice. So, oh, this is a nice angle. I wish I had no user interface turned on, but whatever, I needed to be there. Now, unfortunately, it looks like my ships are actually targeting the small ships, so now let's go into Guillotine. Apparently, these Simics are no longer the primary targets. The tanks are slightly annoying, but whatever, I'll deal with that. And the enemy actually went for Magnetic Field, which is surprising. I'll see how well the Guillotine fares. It might actually fare quite poorly. I'm not sure what the enemy is doing, but no, it's good. The it looks like the enemy went for a formation, which actually does allow me to target the tectonics, which causes the tectonics to die quite rapidly. Which is nice, it's something that I enjoy. I think the enemy may have gone for the default formation in this case, judging by the fact that it was really, it looked like there was no order to the ships being destroyed. I think it's just because those ships had still full health and those Simics no longer had full health, so they were prioritized, those non-Simics, and as such they were destroyed quite quickly because a salvo that was nowhere near enough to even scratch the surface of a Simic was more than enough to destroy a whole different ship, in this case Tectonic. Apparently I lost Soki, I'm not sure if that was really the case, let's see for myself. I did lose a Soki. That is a shame because this Soki had a lot of levels, but he did me well. He did me well, I will remember him. Maybe. Anyway, that's a problem because I no longer have ships that can soak up the damage for me. But I still have 2 thick airs, and I guess I will lose some other ships, but this fleet will have to do. It'll be good enough for protecting my flanks, so that's good. Let's attack those Simics. I don't think I'll need to watch it. Let's go for defensive formation, targeting, spread fire. I think Nosebreaker will guarantee there's a section of both of those guys, whereas anything else could not necessarily work the same results. I will go for short circuit on all phases, auto, and see how well it goes. The enemy just run away like the cowards they are. I didn't even do any damage, which is kind of surprising. I did have some beams that should have dealt damage, but apparently I didn't, so oh well. I do have one more 1 point left. Let's use it to go to Equinus and continue besieging it, so just that it is an easy target, and also I don't want the enemy to be nearby. Objection, I want to take the fight to the enemy. Now this fleet is a bigger one, so let's go for Guillotine. Apparently this fleet is more than enough to actually go for Guillotine against Simics, especially when one of them is heavily damaged. And then short circuit into more short circuit and short circuit. Actually, you know what? I noticed that the enemy. Let's go for something like this, okay? I think it's a decent idea. Default formation, not defensive formation, good. I will leave the default targeting for Guillotine, but once I get into the game, I will change the long range phase targeting into Nosebreaker, and then the game will change it into Guillotine in medium and melee phase by itself. So this will be nice. The reason why I'm going for Nosebreaker in long range phase is because I do need to take care of one of the Simics before I can use Guillotine, and the Guillotine will be enough to pick off the Tectonics. That's my line of thought. Obviously it may or may not be proper, it all depends from the kind of formation that the enemy is using, but honestly I do not... it's hard to predict the kind of formation the enemy is using, especially when it's an AI, because sometimes you just have no idea what is going through their head. Most likely electrical currents, but still you know the deal. So anyway, there is a close-up of the Harmony ship, nothing amazing, because seriously, Harmony ships are kinda rubbish. And by the way, Dungeon of the Endless, I still had no chance to play it, and I will not have the chance to play it for another week, which is extraordinarily frustrating, as you might imagine. You might not imagine, but just believe me when I say that it is very frustrating, whatever. But I did buy Dungeon of the Endless on day 1. I have full trust in Uprooted Studios, and I believe that their game was going to be amazing. And also because I did buy the Founder Pack, yes, I went all out, I want to support Uprooted as much as I possibly can, so I bought the Founder Pack. So I guess I will get a new faction in Endless Space, which was slightly unexpected, really unexpected. Well, apparently this is going to be the case. So, yeah, why not? Also, I got to get a skin and Endless Legend once that comes out, although I don't want Endless Legend to come out just yet. Right now I want to have time to enjoy Dungeons of the Endless. So there we go. How did this battle go, by the way? Because I wasn't paying attention. Oh, enemies destroyed, but my thick air has taken severe damage. It may not be able to stay alive for much longer, which is an issue, but it is not a very pressing concern. Never mind, now it is. Even though this... Okay, did I actually take a lot of damage? It's hard to say. Okay, looks like I did it. So in this case, I'll continue going for defensive formation. And I'll go for Guillotine all the way, since the enemy only has 2 Simics this time around. In terms of the kind of card I'm going to play, well, it is going to be the same case all over again, but I'm going to go for auto, since this city cast is nearing an end, and I don't want to spend too much time just being in battles. I do also want to do other things, since, you know, this Uticus is supposed to be productive. Did I lose any ships? I actually did lose some ships, so I can use send this Barbarian to reinforce, which is going to be quite useful, as you might imagine. There we go, they are guarding this area, and I have more than enough dust to not worry about it, which is nice. Now, what else do I need to say? No idea. I still have not explored the rest of the galaxy. I have little interest in that. As I said, as pillagers, I care not for exploration, I care for extermination and extermination alone. So I just discard the new planets as only after I banned all the other planets that I know of. So there is my reasoning. And now I can have more ships in a single fleet, which is going to be very, very useful for me. And I'm also going to be able to get my fighters relatively quickly. Also, this thing, hardened framing, a very important thing that I should have gone for earlier. Now, what else do I need to do after I get this research done in the next turn? I can go for some more advanced weapons. I can easily go for more advanced missiles, which could be a decent idea since I'm using a lot of missiles. I could go for better kinetics, but the enemy is going for a lot of deflectors, so it might not be the best idea. Or better lasers, beams, but I do not have antimatter, so this would be kind of stupid. Alternatively, I could finally go for the Way of the Warrior, which I really do need. And also, it would allow me to go for colony rights, which is also quite useful. Instead, because yes, there are more options, I really do kind of need to be able to colonize, to explore moons and to get rid of some of those anomalies. And to add to that, I also really truly do need the nano repair systems as well as the Global Tech Pack. But since Global Tech Pack is going to take a long time to research, I think that first I'm going to get non-binary colliders, because I am using some of those science exploitations. Then I'll finish off the fighters so that I'll already have a little bit more of science gain. After that, even though I would love to get me a new weapon, I really would love to, but I won't. Instead, I will rush the Way of the Warrior because it's quite important, quite powerful as well. Do I need more food? Unlikely. Do I need more? Well, I cannot get any trade routes, so I don't care about that. But extra 100% luxury-based fits bonus on planets, that's kind of useful. So I'll go this way, then to optimize logistics and Way of the Warrior. Obviously, there I will not have much use of careful sleep whipping until I am able to explore moons, but that's not really a big issue. Colony rights, on the other hand, are amazing, especially if I can earn as much dust as I am earning per turn right now. And most importantly, I really do need indoctrination packs. So there we go. Alright, so there we go. There's the research, and there are the completed constructions, which is always so nice. Anything else to do this turn? Apparently not, which is, again, nice. I know I'm repeating myself, but seriously, there isn't much. I mean, the enemy does have a fleet over here. Is it a fleet that has any defenses? Well, it actually does have some defenses. So what I could do is, since I do not see any... Hold on a second, for some reason I do not have a vision over all of the amoeba systems, even though I do have a hero that actually should give me this ability. Strange, I guess it's a bug. Whatever, bugs happen, bugs do happen, I do not really care about it too much now. I would love to transition my hero to this fleet, but the problem is that this fleet, without a hero, it will just fall flat on its face because it has already taken a severe amount of damage, and I do want this fleet to be leveled up as much as possible. But the other thing is, I can actually go for a new hero. Now the thing is, not a single one of my heroes is actually specialized in anything in particular. So all of them are good administrators, which is an amazing trait, but I don't really have a system to put them in. I mean, objection is objectively a decent system to put an administrator in, and I might actually do this. It would cost me a lot of dust. I will need to kill some people this turn, but having an administrator over there is not a bad idea. It is not a bad idea indeed. So let's have a quick look at which hero would be the best. This guy has 1 labor. 1. And he's an administrator. Really? This guy, however, has 5 labor, that's way better, and this guy has 4 labor. Neither of those are particularly great, especially since not a single one has any wit, which is really annoying. Those guys are quite bad. I don't want to spend so much dust on them. On the other hand, I do need, or rather could use another guy. Well, first of all, let's have this fight this fight. Wow, good job, brain. We have defensive formation and the guillotine. The standard order of operation will be exactly the same. And actually, it's nearing the time when I should end this videocast. So I will show you this battle as a farewell, and then I'll end this cast. I'll probably get a hero, but I might postpone this decision until after I'm back and resume recording those Endless Space videos. Anyway, I hope you appreciate the fact that I stayed awake just for you, just because I love you, to make this additional videocasts that you are actually now able to watch. Also, I forgot what I wanted to say. Again, my memory. Anyway, I think I wanted to say my partings. The problem is that we are still in the middle of combat, so saying goodbye right now is not the optimally best way to do things. And oh boy, I do love my bombers just flying after my missiles, trying to reach into the enemy ships and wreck them to pieces. Oh, this is so awesome, I really love this. Although this camera shot, not the best game, you could change it. And oh, there we go, some better camera shots. And now my bombers are actually going to start dealing some damage, which is nice. They are also not intercepted by any fighters, because Disharmony are apparently not using fighters, which is a dumb move, because if I recall correctly, they're destroyers. They've got a huge bonus to tonnage when they want to go for fighters and or bombers. As in, it's like something like 75% reduction in tonnage, which is huge. So don't know why Harmony haven't prioritized fighters or bombers. Maybe it's because they want to be peaceful, but then again, they did declare war on me, so they're not too peaceful now, are they? I don't think they are. Anyway, I think it's time for me to say goodbye. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope I'm still alive in Korea. Soon I will be back. In like a few days, I'll be flying back home. And then it will be Christmas, so Merry Christmas to everybody, or Happy Holidays to everybody, depending on which one you prefer. Yeah, I won't say Happy New Year, because we'll make more videos before New Year. So there is that. Anything else? Well, thank you for watching as usual. Leave a comment, I like them. Leave a like, I like them. And that's it. And I'll repeat myself, yes, again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you online.